Okay, and we are live. I am super excited to announce that I am running the webinar again. So we have a date for it. It is actually next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. EST. So I really like to run this webinar live because I like to interact with you. A lot of people ask me questions as we're doing the webinar. So it can be a really great way to interact more directly with me. And it is a super deep dive into root causes of anxiety. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is that feeling like you want to give up. So you want to throw your hands in the air and you're really tired of trying. And I don't know if that's you, with the pandemic 6 months in, and a lot of the women I speak to, their anxiety has gotten really triggered through the pandemic, whether it was specifically the pandemic or, financial loss because of the pandemic or death of family members. So all of these things are triggering anxiety for them, and it can feel very overwhelming. And right now, especially 6 months in, you're actually more likely to just want to give up and throw your hands in the air. And sometimes, when you've been trying all these sorts of things, so I talk to women who have tried, changing their diet, so eating a little bit healthier. Or I've talked to women who have, tried therapy, or women who have tried medication, and nothing seems to be working. So often there reaches this point where you're just so frustrated and so tired of living day to day with this anxiety that feels, super heavy and really weighted. So you're getting up in the morning and feeling that feeling of dread, or you're wondering if anxiety is going to show up today, or you've had such an intense day of trying to calm your thoughts down that by the end of the day you have simply had enough. So if some of these things are things that you have experienced, then just press like if you're watching this now, or if you're watching it later, and let us know that this is something that you struggle with. Part of the problem around the healing for a lot of people with anxiety is that they're just focusing on one aspect of healing. So for example, if you go to the doctor, the primary focus of medical conventional medicine is to eliminate the symptoms through medication. So there's no asking of why. Why are you like this? Why are your hormones a mess? Why, are you getting that racing heart? It's usually more of, well, we know that X, Y, and Z drug can eliminate those symptoms, so here you go. So that's really the only medicalized approach out there for addressing anxiety. Then you go to your therapist, and I am a therapist, so I'm definitely not dissing therapists, but often that again is, one specific type of approach to healing. So, for example, for some people, they just go to their therapist and they talk and talk and talk. So I talked to one woman who actually had a massive meltdown after going to her therapist, just simply because she was unpacking all of these emotional issues and felt like she left with no solution. So, that can also feel overwhelming. And for other people, they go to therapy and learn, very great relaxation techniques or reframing techniques, and they're super excited and they apply them to their lives, and the anxiety is still there. And when you've gone through those experiences, when you've tried all of these different ways of addressing anxiety, it can feel very overwhelming. It can feel like, I don't know what to do. And so then what happens is you start seeking, almost chaotically sometimes, different resources. So sometimes people go straight to Google. And the number of women that I've talked to who have gone to Google and gotten more overwhelmed by being on Google is pretty intense. And what the big problem is that you don't know exactly what you need to do to heal your anxiety, because you don't know what's causing it. And if you don't know what's causing it, then you can't properly pinpoint the solution. So, if you're improving your thinking and your anxiety is caused by a gluten intolerance, then yes, the thinking is going to help a little bit, but it's not really going to get to the core issue. Whereas if you're changing your diet diet, but your nervous system is being super activated all the time because you have limbic system damage, then that diet change is going to help you, but it's not really going to be enough. And so what you need to figure out is what I call the Jenga piece. And the Jenga piece is the piece that you pull out that causes that tower to fall over. And the Jenga piece is really for you. It's that solution, it's that into your healing that is going to cause everything else to shift. So it's the core major root cause. And so I'm actually going to be doing a pretty deep, intensive dive into root causes of anxiety in my webinar on Tuesday. So next Tuesday at 3:30, and it's called The 3 Secrets to Getting Rid of Your Anxiety. And I'm going to teach you why what you're doing hasn't worked so far. And so it's not to say that what you're doing isn't good, maybe it's reducing your anxiety a little bit, but why you haven't found that Jenga piece that's really causing your nervous system to go out of control. And then I'm going to teach you ways and strategies to address it. So if you would like to come to my webinar, press webinar in the comments below and I will be sending you a link. Super excited to see you next week.